All right, Aeropup fans, Don Fielden here with Field & Aero, the manufacturers of that fine kit plane we call Aeropup USA, based on a bush plane design that comes out of Australia. We manufacture and distribute the Aeropup USA kit exclusively right here in USA and all of North America. I had several folks ask me about the use of Oratex fabric covering system for the Aeropup. As a lot of you know, I'm a huge fan of Oratex. While it costs a little more expensive compared to traditional covering materials, lightweight, it's much more lightweight, much easier to install, and easier to maintain, and just last forever, lighter weight. There's all sorts of positive attributes about it that turn me on. Anyway, so in the spirit of addressing some of the questions, we're in the process now of installing the final piece of fabric on the Aeropup USA demo model, and that's the bottom panel, the panel that goes on the bottom of the fuselage. It's the very last thing that you'll cover on the airplane as you finalize the kit. I mean, the very last thing. A couple weeks after that, you can be airborne if everything else is complete. So what I want to do, in light of some of the questions we've received over the last several weeks about Oratex, I thought I'd just quickly walk you through the installation of the bottom panel, or the early stages of it. This will be a two-part video, and this is part one. All right, let me flip the camera. Okay, and with any luck, you can still hear me. What you're looking at is the bottom panel that will glue and attach to the bottom of the fuselage. The bottom panel is actually in two pieces. The small piece right here goes on the rearmost portion of the fuselage in the tail wheel area. I'll show you when we get to the airplane. And this long panel goes from the front of the landing gear and then all the way back to a few feet in front of the tail wheel location. We do this because on this particular airplane, which you can see right here, all covered up, we use the UL 350 IS engine. So because of the weight of that engine, we have to put the battery box in the very back of the airplane, right about here where my finger is pointing to. And so I need to have easy access to that battery box. So this area of the fuselage where the battery box lies is actually a aluminum covering that is screwed into place. And so the fabric here just goes up to the front of the battery box, and then I'll walk back down here to this tiny piece, and this goes from the rear of that battery box to the very back of the airplane. Okay, we just apply a little bit of glue with the paintbrush on it. You can sort of make out the glue marks on the fabric. I don't know if you can see the change in coloration there. We'll put 2 layers of glue on there. Just apply it with the paintbrush. That's all there is to it. Put 2 layers on. Let 3 or 4 hours, let it dry for 3 or 4 hours, and you'll apply the second layer. And then this is the glue we actually use. You buy that direct from Oratex. Lars will sell that to you. He's the U.S. distributor for Oratex. So you glue that on. You put the glue on everywhere it's going to touch metal on the airplane. And then if we walk over here to the airplane, we put a layer of glue on the surfaces that the fabric will attach to. So you basically put glue on both surfaces that are going to be bonded together. You'll see on the fuselage here, we put some tape down because that's going to be the seam for the bottom of the fabric. Glue to the bottom and then wrap up to the side, and then we'll cut it right here, and that will represent the seam, and that runs the full length of the airplane. The fuselage is resting on the sawhorse right here. If I was to come down here, you can make out the battery box area right there. So that's part one. Part two, I will go and actually walk you through putting the fabric on the airplane itself. If you go with the Oratex solution, or probably any fabric solution, if you cover it the way I did, which is basically one piece that wraps around the fuselage, each side and the top, and then a piece on the bottom, then you probably want to be easier if you can, before you build the airplane, go ahead and flip the fuselage upside down and size out your fabric for the bottom piece. I just happen to have an extra Aeropup fuselage kit here we're about to ship out as a kit, and then I use that to cut the fabric. Okay, so that's it for this. That's it for this overview, part 1. I'll do a part 2 here probably tomorrow or so. Of note, I shipped my very first customer of the Aeropup USA kit. He accepted the kit 3 months ago, and he had a crew of people helping him build it. In 3 months, he completed it, and he has his Aeropup in the air. It's sold to an overseas customer. I'm trying to get his permission to get some videos from him and then put them on the web page so you can see that thing fly. So of note, the very first Aeropup USA kit that came out of the Field and Aero manufacturing plant is airborne and flying well. And it's flying so much, or flying so well, I guess, and the customer likes it so much that he's buying a second kit from me. So you gotta love that. Okay, more to follow. Reach out to us anytime. My number and email address is on the webpage, aeropupusa.com. That's it for now. Adios.